So, you're all a bunch of very smart, handsome, beautiful individuals.
Wait, what?
I'm
Speak for
certain.
yourself.
I'm the most handsomest.
Okay, well, I'm a very handsome DM, and there's no way that I would bring together a bunch of dummies for a game like this. Dummies who couldn't possibly remember what happened last time. So all of you guys remember, but why don't you just, remind each other of what happened last time on Dragon Ball Z?
Is that my job again?
I
also wrote a
Dragon Ball Z.
recap. So yeah, we could reread it if you want, and because I added to it.
Oh, do we want to do that?
We don't necessarily have to. Do we want to?
Because I think last time I read the first one, do we want me to do just the second one?
Yeah, sure. Why don't we just
If
do
you want to put on your real sexy voice and do the recap,
Let's just do the second part then. That's okay. The first part, a wizard stole it. It's dead to us. Let's do second part.
It's the only voice he has. Let's go.
We arrive at the front gates of Djozerstan, cutting to the front of the line per Modeste's instructions. After a brief argument, Modeste is detained, leaving us and a smug Kira behind. To relieve ourselves of the 40 or so horses we've acquired on the journey. Money in hand, we then head to the Novikov estate to meet the family. Modeste is being scolded by his parents, his distracted father Anton, and his bored mother Ephemilia. His brother Temur scolds his elder brother, claiming that he should be heir as his brother is too reckless for the title. Valeria, his sisterly black cloud in the corner, supplies helpful verbal jabs as needed. Before the evening comes to a close, Modeste's mother is quite taken with Aramis and escorts him to his quarters for the remainder of the night. The next morning, Aramis, Marjorie, and Daisy feel an unpleasant coldness throughout their rooms. And Marjorie argues with her personal haunting, Marcus, as he's knocking things from every shelf he passes. Daisy hears the commotion and pays her a visit, ripping a tooth from her mouth and passing it to a very reluctant Marjorie. Upon receiving the tooth, she can understand Daisy, who says that she can see the ghost and is worried he'll hurt her. Marjorie assures her that Marcus is harmless and she is helping him, but not to tell anyone for fear of the questions it would raise about her mental well-being. We then gather for breakfast with a smug Aramis and a furious Modeste. Kira is oblivious to the problem and demands that there be no strife between comrades. Once the matter is settled, the group decides to investigate the two clubs, the Hissy Fit and Club K, later in the evening, when they are both more active. The group then packs up to head to Raoul's storage to follow their lead on Heinrich's missing supplies.
Yeah.
Delightful. Did we leave anything out?
That was the vitals, I think.
As the vitals,
something about carrots.
Something about carrots, and we did do some
We don't talk about
digging into the schematics, but didn't get too far.
Oh yeah, you had like a fucking brain aneurysm.
Yep. Yeah, I did.
So, do you regrow your teeth when you hand them out, or are you just missing teeth now?
I regrow them over a long rest.
Ah, okay.
I regrow that, my nails, my hair, and any small bones I rip out. They're not really bones, but they kind of look like them.
The firm fungus.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. Don't say that anymore.
They're real black and they're real misshapen, but they kind of look like small bones. Kind of like, imagine if you had a small bone made out of wicker. That's what it looks like.
Okay. Yeah.
That's not what I was expecting, but somehow I hate it even more.
The lovely visual.
I don't know. I think I'm more okay with the wicker.
Just wait till I summon a familiar, because I can do that shit now. Wait till I do that. It's gonna be so fun. They won't look like Daisy do it. No, they don't look like Daisy. They're gonna be adorable.
That's true. That's true. Different. But all right.
Why would the familiars be all jacked up and gross looking?
Yeah,
I'm summoning on theme. I don't know.
Yeah, but I'm summoning a nature spirit. I'm summoning a fey nature spirit. There's no reason that would look all fucked up just because I am.
Yeah, get a grip.
Being so racist.
Anyway, we were packing up and we're gonna head to Raoul's, which what Kira had said that was up north in the city.
Yes, and if you recall, she didn't seem too thrilled. She thought it sounded kind of dangerous.
Oh yeah, because she said it was the quote-unquote bad neighborhood.
Indeed. So you guys make your way up north to one of the bridges that span over the currently unused railroad tracks. Hold on a second.
Suddenly a trait.
It is early morning. The streets are fairly crowded with people going to work and going about their business. Folks are at the side of the streets holding up their wares at their tiny little food stands and what have you, hollering about, buy some oranges, please! I could really use the money. They're nice oranges. It's a round and orange. Come on. You there, you look like you could use some vitamins.
Which one of us is he looking at when he says that?
All of you.
All of us.
Do we all turn and look at Daisy?
Right? We just
I
assume
don't know what's being
Daisy.
said. I have no idea what's going on.
It's always
I think-
Daisy.
I think we've gone for a stroll. I don't know we're going to a warehouse. I think you guys are just taking me on a walk.
Yeah, pleasant, like evening stroll in the slums, Perfect. Picturesque.
It's good for your grandmother's bones. Helps with the eyesight and the hair and the woof. I mean, she couldn't get any worse, right?
Oh, just guide Daisy onward, because we've just eaten. Thank you. And just wave politely at him as she urges us to. We have to cross the train tracks.
Oh, you're not quite at the bridge yet, but yes,
Oh,
you're
okay.
going to have to cross a bridge that goes over the tracks.
Okay.
You lead Daisy away.
We're literally going to the other side of the tracks.
Correct.
Oh no.
Yeah, you lead Daisy away. So, oh, that's why it comes with a convenient packaging, self-packaging. It has a really thick scar. And he disappointedly goes back to the other far less wealthy people in the crowd. But Modeste leads you guys over to the bridge, and you find that there is a decent-sized crowd of people, all sort of milling about, complaining and griping, and right on the bridge looks like a ramshackle checkpoint that's been set up by the soldiers here in Djozerstan.
Oh.
You can see a whole mess of sandbags, some really crude wooden palisades that look like they're made out of trash, about a dozen armed soldiers and mostly conscripts. And it looks like they are searching people and checking their papers, and very few are being let across the bridge.
Uh-oh. Okay, well,
This,
I don't know. We're some upstand citizens, so we'll probably be able to get across, right?
It's true. I don't think any of us really have anything on our records now, do we?
No,
No.
I tend to have a good relationship with the constabulary.
Not in this country.
Yes, not here.
Nadia nudges you, Heinrich.
Not here. Marjorie looks at Aramis. What do you mean by that?
Well, when I was fleeing, it seemed like the gendarmes were searching for me. Don't know why.
It seems every day I find out more about your little misadventure. But she waves a hand. Do not worry about that. We're different country entirely. Surely news can't get far that quickly, no? She kind of whirly adjusts the notebook in her pocket and prims herself up to look more official. So she's gonna try and get past these guys, do what she
Ollie,
usually does.
Picks up a newspaper from a nearby stand, and he's like, you'd be surprised how quickly the press can spread. Speaking of, is there anything noteworthy in today's headlines?
Oh yeah.
Let's
Is there
find
an
out.
explanation for what's going on, perhaps?
Roll either hit me with either an investigation or a perception to skim this paper real quick. Give me a sec. Oh, gracious.
Can't wait for the old lady missing from nursing home.
This is something that Oliver will be doing on a regular basis. We pass a newsstand.
Oh, I figured.
He's gonna grab
yeah.
one.
And Marjorie's peering over your shoulder.
I'd roll, but I can't
We
read
have
it, so I don't think there's any point.
Look at the highlights. No idea what that says.
Wait, you know what, Steve? Because
Big
I can't read
letters.
it, can I roll insight instead?
You can roll it with disadvantage.
You're going to spot every word horse
Yes.
on the page.
What's this? What's this? Come on, insight at disadvantage.
Oh!
24.
That's hilarious.
That is
Incredible.
Perfect.
I can't speak a lick of common, but I know what the fuck's going on.
Alright, hold on a second. Alright, Ollie, you snatch a newspaper out of the hands of a nearby crier. You know, extra, extra, read all about it. Hey, come on, get it back. You got the paper there.
I'll pull out a couple bills and hand them over.
See, that's what I'm talking about. He just whips out another one and goes back to his extra, read all about it.
I'll say I gave him like a $5 or something. Probably more than I needed to pay for it, but was the smallest denomination of bill I had on hand.
Don't give him a tip. He'll think he's people.
Wow.
Oh, good lord. Like this newspaper probably costs like 5 cents, and you've given him 10 times that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like $10 for this paper. That's all right.
Yeah.
In this world, we get to be rich. Throw money at someone.
All right.
All right.
So you take a look at this newspaper, and front page, Heinrich, Marjorie, you can see that the front page is about how poorly the campaign against the Tri-City Redoubt is going. And the Tri-City Redoubt are these guys right here. Apparently, troops from Poltava are using all kinds of really wicked weaponry. They're throwing a whole mess of chemical weapons and a whole mess of really, really low quality Ascentium at the masses of troops that keep getting sent over there. And it's some nasty fighting. Thousands dead, thousands more injured, and nothing really to show for it. Ollie, you flip through the inner pages of the newspaper while Marjorie and Heinrich kind of marvel at the bloodshed on the front page. And you kind of have to do a double take, because on page 4, there is a story about the sacking of Schliopgorod. Apparently, the town itself was not completely destroyed. Most of the buildings still stand, but there is extensive damage, and it would appear that almost the entire population was driven from the town. The article is very short. It has a photograph of a big old pile of bodies around where those first few mortar rounds hit the restaurant. And you can see in the background some smoldering ruins. It lists like deaths and injuries, but it doesn't say who was behind the attack or the reasons for the attack. And it doesn't even mention Kira, or you guys for that matter.
Yeah.
We're a
Oh,
bunch of
man.
nobodies as far as.
Because I can't read it, I'd point it out to people.
Right. Because Ollie stops on it. I assume we notice it.
Yep. I'll
Yeah.
say, yeah, I guess it was where restaurants that we redirected the fire to.
They got away with it. No one knows. I think we are the only ones. Not
So
to
it would
mention-
seem.
It is unusual. Is Kira not the most famous person from that city? Wouldn't someone have mentioned it?
You would
Uh,
think.
Look at
But,
Modest or Modest.
He likes to be called Modest. Everyone else calls him Modest.
Yeah, Modest, yeah. Like, oh, well, if he introduced himself as Modest, that's what Marjorie is saying.
Yeah, you notice that his whole family was calling him Modest.
Okay. That's
But Modest says, let me see this, let me see this. And he thumbs through it real quick. He says, this is a tiny article, just a stub. Probably better that it has as little information as possible. Oof. Hope Mom and Dad didn't read the news this morning.
Does your...
Usually do.
Mhm.
He kind of scratches his chin. He says, I think he reads the front page and then goes towards the funnies.
Well, he'll be hearing about it one way or another. He said he was going to speak to the constabulary about helping clean up at the very least. But, yeah, no mention of the Osipovas, no mention of the Black Band. It's a little odd.
It is an attack that happened quite close to the city. People would be worried. Word will spread no matter what the paper says.
Modest seems kind of dejected. He hands the newspaper back and just shakes his head.
But
I want to keep the picture. Daisy
oh,
wants
yeah,
to keep the picture of the
Daisy
corpses.
does grabby hands at the paper.
Yeah, after we've read it, I'll hand it down to Daisy.
Oh yeah, she really likes that picture of all the corpses.
Marjorie will quickly redirect because now we're dwelling on previous violence. She'll clap her hands, but we must focus on the moment. We must get across the bridge and see what this new nonsense is about.
Right.
Forgot to
We
say what Daisy found. Daisy, you're looking at the pictures because you can't read none of it.
Correct.
And you find a very nice picture towards the rear of the paper. It is a bunch of handsome gentlemen with very nice looking armor. And because of the nature of the photograph, it catches your eye. It looks like there's a bunch of prominent white spots on it. But when you look closer, you realize it's just their pauldrons are so brightly colored that they appear as white in the black and white photo.
I would show everyone the really cool picture I found. You know, like when your child draws something and is really proud of it, but instead she's just found a picture.
I like
It's
to
the
think
same-
that this
it's the
is
same sort of thing.
happening right in the middle of Marjorie's pep talk, and so she looks down and says, yes? What is it? And I'll look at the picture that she's holding up from her vantage point below us.
It is an article about a mercenary company called the White Company. Apparently there is an investigative journalist here in Djozerstan that is looking into them quite deeply, and what they are finding is very strange, and they believe that there is a conspiracy afoot. They are doing a great deal of the heavy fighting at Poltava, but considering how impoverished the city is, they find it very strange that they're able to afford such high-quality mercenaries. Ollie, you recognize these guys.
Yeah. Does the give me 1 second, just typing. Yeah, so she points out the white company, and as soon as Ollie sees that, after like Marjorie's taken a look at it, he, I guess, would snatch it and look at it a little more closely, and like looks at it intently, and then like slaps the paper. These are the ones that were sabotaging my mother's bakery. Well, someone was paying them to do it, at least.
All the way in the barony? It's a long way
All-
from here.
All the way in the barony. Maybe I should look this journalist up when we get a free moment. Does the article have an author?
It does indeed. It says that her name is Felice Schuster. Since the article is so small, it doesn't provide a picture of her or anything. Just has her name.
Yeah.
They must be a rather large mercenary company to have enough people to send out there.
You guys get the attention of Nadia, who you kind of look over to her, and she is holding the newspaper, and she seems very surprised at what you have to say, Ollie. She says, "You found them all the way in the barony? In Ashburn Sound? You are right, Marjorie. They are a very small mercenary company. Maybe only 1,000? 2,000? I have seen them in the larger settlements."
I only ran into 3 of them. But it was definitely them. I'd recognize those pauldrons anywhere. Rather garish.
Yeah, she nods and basically agrees with you. She says that she has heard rumors that they are chartered out of the Old Swan and will fight for pretty much anybody. But she says that they tend to fight for the independents rather than the loyalists.
Well, it's a matter for another time. We are on a bit of a crunch, aren't we?
We, the problem at hand. And she'll gesture back at the bridge that she looks like she was just going to approach as is.
We have Kira with us?
No,
No, we do not.
she is not combat savvy. We left her at the mansion, where she is safest.
Where she can bully Modest behind his back.
Well, no, he's with us.
Yeah,
So-
behind his back.
Oh, behind his back, yeah, with his siblings. Yeah, that's true. She gets kicked back and talk smack. All right.
You wanted to push through the crowd and try to talk to these
Yeah,
guards?
just try and shoulder through the crowd. Marjorie just kind of puts on an official face and like spearheads like through the crowd.
All right, you push through the crowd, and everybody around you it's a huge mixture of people, rich and poor, and young and old, tall and short. Everybody is here, and they all seem kind of pissed off. You can hear everybody complaining about this. I was like, "Oh, do you have your papers?" "No, I don't have any papers. I never go anywhere. This is bullshit." So, "Oh, jeez, what are we going to do? We have to get across this bridge. I have to check on my nana." That kind of stuff. And you shove your way through and get to the front of the barricade. And you see a bunch of haggard-looking conscripts, and when you walk up to them, they just put their hands up and they say, "No. You get in line like everyone else."
Can we just like shove Modest at him?
Well, Marjorie was gonna. Yeah, sure. She'll have him too, but also has you, Heinrich, like on the other side. You're both like flanking her, and she'll stand it up nice and tall in official business, and we are heading towards an investigation as into let me think of wording real quick. Investigation for a missing shipment. It is paramount we arrive as soon as possible. It may be moved.
The soldier kind of scoffs and he says, "Yeah, your missing shipment is over there? It is as good as gone. If you still want to bother crossing the bridge, see some papers from all of you."
I mean, I assume I have papers from the Celestine Empire.
You do.
Yeah, so I show him that, my official stuff, and it's got the PI on it too.
He kind of makes a concerned face. He goes, "Oh, you're a foreigner. Long way from home. Oh, we can't let you in."
What? Why not? I'm on business.
Well, if you go across that bridge, your business is going to be being dead. Trust us. Why don't you go see the higher class parts of town or something? Go buy some wine, have some kvass.
What has happened? I have work to do.
This is a quarantine zone. There are sick people on the other side of this city. And we cannot risk any of the diseases over there making their way here. And if I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, Celestines don't last long in Dumat. Points at you.
Yeah, she
Points at you, Heinrich. Come on, papers.
Oh yeah, you can have my my noble papers.
Marjorie just stands there offended for a second.
Don't worry, Marjorie. The residents of Dumat do not last much longer in the Dumat either.
Out of character. Hilarious.
It's pretty bogus.
In character, Marjorie's like, she sighs. She just sighs. Like, mildly less offended, but just kind of like, how inconvenient.
Old man gonna old man him.
Yeah, he is.
Old boy takes your papers and gives them a quick look over. He kind of sneers at you a little bit, and he calls over one of his boys. And he shoves your papers into his arms, and he just says, "You take care of this one." And this real short half-elf guy kind of reads your papers, and he says, "I'm sorry, Herr Heinrich, but we cannot let you in. No foreigners are allowed in the quarantine zone." And if I were you, I wouldn't go around showing these papers to anyone.
You did ask for them.
I didn't ask for anything.
I point my cane at the other guy.
Right. He said
Yeah,
papers.
well, there's just been, a lot of bad blood because of. He kind of waves his hand,
I believe this is a civil war.
For when you guys came in and wrecked an entire city block with your Zeppelin?
I think I read that in the paper. It was covered
good.
with humor, of course.
Yeah, but nobody's laughing now. He hands you your papers back and he says, "No way, we cannot let you in."
But, so, hold on. Aren't all these people in the crowd citizens?
He shrugs, maybe. We haven't checked the papers yet.
It does not look like many are getting through. She kind of crosses her arms suspiciously. Like, oh yeah, I guess we never tried to insight. Do we think they're like BSing?
Who, the guard?
Yeah. Does this seem legit?
You could hit me with an insight or even an investigation.
Yeah, sure, I'll insight. I'm better at people than investigate.
I'll
boy.
investigate.
I'll
Ugh.
try.
15 for me. Oh, hey. Twins.
Heinrich doesn't
You know,
understand people. He understands machines.
Well, Jory and Heinrich, you converse with this very young conscript, and he doesn't seem to have any ulterior motives. He also doesn't really seem to want to be here. As far as you can tell, this is a legitimate, checkpoint. And when you look at the work that they're doing, they're going very slowly, and you think that it's mostly because of a lack of experience. But also that is combined with the fact that they seem to be doing a decently thorough job. They are opening up people's paperwork and opening up people's bags and checking their belongings, giving pat-downs and stuff, asking questions. They seem to be turning most people away, but in the amount of time that you mess with the newspaper and you get through the crowd and talk to this guy, about 5-10 minutes, something like that, a couple people, like a handful of people make it across the bridge. So they are sending people through, but it seems like a real bottleneck.
Marjorie's absolutely miffed. She's got her arms crossed and she says, the papers are wrong. Though some of the people in Dumat are surprisingly efficient. She kind of rolls her eyes, inconveniently for us, of course.
Indeed.
But she kind of looks around, further down the street, running parallel with the tracks. There is more than one way to cross the tracks, is there not? She looks at Modest, who is the local.
He does a double take. He goes, "What, me? Go down to track level? Ugh." He kind of gestures towards his chest and his fine coat and shirt and what have you. And he just goes, No, I take the bridge like a civilized man.
I'm very modest. If getting dirty's what you're worried about, I can keep you spiffy.
Modest, I did not expect you to lack such sense of adventure, especially considering where Baba found you. Really? You've never gone out gallivanting? She kind of waves her fingers mysteriously.
Phew, I am, of course, the bravest man you will probably ever meet. As long as we are going outside the city and not into, he kind of peers over the ledge towards the train tracks below. Stabtown, population us.
Oh, please, we're already crossing into the slums.
If it's population us, then I don't think you have anything to worry about. Maybe Yaroplek, but...
I have very little intention of stabbing any of my companions.
This is ridiculous. When did I become the voice of reason?
Then you became a coward.
Old man, you took a lot of trash for being wrinkly and on the verge of death.
Perhaps. But I'm going to go across these tracks. And I'll start making my way back up the road to get down to the track level.
Unless you have a better suggestion, Modest. You are the guide, after all. And if the guide cannot guide, she kind of gestures while walking backwards, following Heinrich. Who would have thought?
Oh, you guys could probably finish this entire conversation before he's out of sight.
Right, yeah, well, she's slowly walking backwards, facing Modest, kind of luring him with her hands, with her hands held out, But really, who would have thought the Celestine following the brave Alfaxmo soldier instead of the gallant? Oh, what are you anyway? She just kind of winks and turns around and starts following Heinrich and starts whistling as she goes.
Obviously, Modest falls for this hook, line, and sinker and it follows you. But In the meantime, Ollie.
Yep.
You investigate the area. You talk to a few people. You chat up the guards a little bit. And this checkpoint is here, 2 reasons. One reason, everybody is terrified of the various plagues that are apparently running rampant on the north side of town. There are 3 bridges that span across the railroad tracks, and all of them have one of these checkpoints on it to basically stop people from entering and exiting the bad part of town.
Mm-hmm.
Reason number 2, you find that they are on the lookout for deserters, criminals, and they want to try and catch people that have some sort of diseases and throw them into the quarantine zone.
Mm.
You find that there are a couple of people with like light coughs and seem a little sneezy, and they're very, very nervous about trying to cross, and they're trying to like cough into their coats and stuff to make sure that they don't alert the soldiers.
Yeah.
You notice also during the conversation that a couple of the people that they send across the bridge don't look like they want to go across the bridge, but they kind of shove them and tell them to go back. And while you're moving around, you see that behind the palisades, they have a few smaller cages that look big enough for somebody to stand up in, and that's about it. And it looks like they're there to take prisoners, and they already have a couple.
Does it, do they just look like common criminals?
You don't recognize them in any meaningful way. They are wearing street clothes. One of them appears to be a dwarf, and the other looks to be either a human or a half-elf.
Yaroplek didn't make his way into that by trying to cross behind us, did he?
No, he did not.
Okay.
You checked to make sure Yaroplek is still here, and he is.
Because I wouldn't put that past Yaroplek.
I don't know. I think he's a little too cowardly to push that. I don't know.
You turn towards Yaroplek, and he just instantly says, "Stop looking at me! I am being good. I am not doing anything." And you stare with your eyes.
So, Heinrich, Marjorie, Modest, and Nadia have already, and then I'm assuming that means Daisy as well, have already
started, yeah.
started heading back that direction.
No, I'm still on the bridge with you. Nobody's taking me with them, and I don't understand what's going on.
Okay, because I do have an idea in my head.
I might make eye contact with one of these guards in a minute if someone doesn't watch me carefully.
I'm going to approach one of the guards that I've spoken to already, whichever one was of the highest station, and ask if I were to draft up a quick waiver of liability and put my signature on it, hand it over, would you allow me to cross the bridge?
You speak to one of the older gentlemen, and he goes, "Liability? What are you talking about? We can't risk letting any foreigners, especially wealthy ones, dying in the quarantine zone."
No, that's why I'd write up a waiver of liability. You wouldn't be held liable.
He kind of scratches his head and goes, "This sounds a little bit above my pay grade. Let me get my commanding officer." And he moseys on over to this elf with a beer belly who's sitting at a makeshift desk, and he looks pretty pissed off to be bothered right now. And your boy brings him over, and you explain to him what you want to do. I need you to roll a persuasion for me.
Let's go small bonus.
The officer rolls his eyes, and he says, "If you want to write me up a contract right now, if you can spell everything right, yeah, I'll let you across the bridge, sure." Seems kind of amused. He doesn't think you can do it.
And then the briefcase gets brought out onto the table. Out comes a quill, and I guess we're in the pen era. He'll pull out a piece of parchment and draft it up.
Ollie, you have no problem doing this. You are a businessman, and you draft this up, get a little signorino, date it. You send it over to him, and he like kind of furrows his brow, reads through it, and says, "Huh. I guess this is not your first time doing some dangerous business like this, hmm?"
It's not my first time writing up a detailed contract.
He kind of harumphs and whips out a pen of his own, and he signs and dates it as well. He kind of looks a little bit tired of this situation and waves to his boys and says, "All right, we are letting the pretty boy in. Come on." And he waves you through the palisade. And all of the people who were waiting behind you like groan and start yelling at you.
Of course.
"Oh, this is bullshit! He gets to cut in line and he gets through! Smells like corruption to me. Yeah, what a bunch of bullshit!" Boo, boo. Yeah, they bring you into the palisade and take you over to the bridge, and they tell you if anything bad happens over there, don't expect a rescue.
Yep.
I would like to make eye contact with a guard and just hold it.
Okay, are you like walking right up to the palisade and doing this?
Yes.
I think they'll just push you through because you look diseased.
I look real diseased. This is my plan. I'm either gonna get sent to jail or I'm gonna get sent through. It's one of the two. We'll see. But like, I've seen Ollie go through, and Ollie's my friend, so I need to follow. So I'm just gonna go up and stare up at the guard.
Aramis is still up here as well. He'll
okay.
He'll go with Daisy, and as they get close, he'll say, I was told I needed to escort this one into the quarantine zone. Just take a look at her. And he'll kind of just gesture.
Daisy,
don't get too close.
You lock eyes with one of these soldiers, and he like dry heaves. He's just, oh.
Some black goo dribbles out of my mouth.
"Oh, well, congratulations, whoever you are, you made it. In she goes." He opens up the gate, and he's just like, "Come on, get in." And Daisy goes on in, but he tries to close the door in front of you, Aramis. He says, whoa, where are you going?"
I was told to be very thorough in making sure that she made it to the quarantine zone. They did not want that one sneaking away. You could see from the look of her, she was quite far gone.
"They? Who's they? What were you told and by who?"
Well, obviously, it was the Novikov family. I am working for them. Hired hand.
"The Novikovs? Oh, let's see your paper. Let's see your writ, your instructions, something."
Do you hand out instructions to every minor worker you have under your wing? Do you think I am this high up in their concerns? No, they just told me to get her over there and make sure I did it.
"Ah, well, smart guy, if you are so important, then it doesn't matter who lets this old lady thing over the bridge, and you can let us handle it, smart guy."
Listen, I am very fine with this. You guys want to handle that thing? That is more than okay with me. But I will say good luck, and don't get what she has, since you want to handle her.
That's what we have the sticks for. And you see a couple of soldiers in the background kind of poking her with a stick to move Daisy along up towards the bridge.
Daisy doesn't like that. She starts poking him back with the walking stick.
There, come on, get across the bridge. Stop poking me.
Yep, she's a feisty one. Have fun with that.
She's gonna keep poking them.
I will take my wand out and point it back in Marjorie and Heinrich's direction and message one of them and just say, Daisy and I made it through the barricade. Stay where you can see the bridge when you're crossing the tracks. We'll keep an eye out on you guys from above.
Aramis is just going to start leaving since they insisted on taking care of it and let them deal with it.
Well, you could also try showing them some papers.
No, it's okay. He's going to go catch up with the others.
Okay. So Ollie and Daisy, you guys just straight up cross the bridge.
How many guards do I smack with my stick on the way through?
4 of them.
Oh, nice.
Is the blockade like halfway across the bridge, or is it like at the beginning of the bridge on the south side?
It's at the southern end of the bridge.
Okay.
The rest of the bridge is just kind of filled with debris and garbage. And
All
there
right.
is another checkpoint on the other end.
Gotcha.
And at the other end, it is basically an identical checkpoint, only nobody's really trying to get out of this one.
Yeah.
There's a very small crowd of people that look way more haggard than the people on the other side.
Yeah.
And when you go through that particular checkpoint, you are met with like instant squalor.
He'll wait to go through because he told Heinrich or Marjorie that he and Daisy are going to watch them cross from the bridge and then meet up with them on the other side.
You get a brief affirmative, because I imagine Marjorie is watching out for trouble right now as we're probably reaching the bottom of where a hidden place to cross.
Yeah, you'd better keep your eyes out. There's plenty of gangsters and ne'er-do-wells down here.
You act like they were not going to be on the streets.
Yeah, but there's more down here. And I would love for you to tell me what your genius plan is for crossing in the open across these massive train tracks, and how you're even going to get in on the other side.
Well, right now I will get a good visual of what we're looking at. Are there any train cars out here? Like, what's on the other side? Is there a fence on the other side?
Are there actually people here? Is he just being paranoid?
Yeah.
Alright. You guys head down underneath the city to where the trains used to run. With the help of Yaraplek and Nadia, you find some abandoned stairwells that have been boarded up loosely, and you move the boards aside and head on down. And you are met with basically kind of just abandoned walkways and streets and train stations and little boarded up shops that no longer have patrons or owners anymore. And where the stations and where the loading docks used to be, you find that they have been shuttered and boarded up. And the only real activity you see are some mercenaries that look like they are patrolling the area.
Let's see. What do we got?
Can we tell what band they're from?
Where they look kind of generic.
Hold on a sec.
Mm-hmm. Because I'm trying to think. Because we could actually just go... Oh.
Marjorie, you know exactly who these guys are. You are used to seeing them all the time.
Oh, okay.
They are well armed and armored. Their armor is very clean. They look very professional, and you recognize the big red R's on their
Oh,
chest.
yeah, Redfield. Okay. Yeah, she hums to herself. Good mercenaries. Uh-oh. And she kind of thinks to herself, so are we like further down the street? Or are we like right under or close to being under the bridge itself?
You are very close to the bridge.
Okay. And are there train cars crossing the tracks?
When you looked over the side, down at the train tracks, you saw a few train cars here and there. Like maybe in the area that you kind of want to run to, maybe 3 or 4.
So we could theoretically like quickly slip between them to get to the other side, but we might be better off staying close enough to the bridge so that only someone looking directly over the side would notice us.
You could definitely try.
Okay.
I turned to Daisy and I pointed a tooth and put my hand out.
Because who can talk to you right now, or because it's a new day, no one can?
If I recall.
Because it's a new day, it's no one.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Alright, I figured. So he requests a tooth.
Do you want a tooth, a nail, or a hair?
Oh, he pointed to his teeth.
I pointed to one of his tooth and then held his hand out to you.
Oh, yeah,
Like
sure,
he's expecting something.
She'd give you a tooth. She'd like rip it out and a bunch of black goop comes out with it and then pass it to you.
He like shakes it off and then quickly puts it in a pocket. And then just thinks in his head, all right, our other friends are going to be crossing down below. Help me keep an eye out for them, or if anything's coming up behind them, around a corner, anything like that.
Okay, I'll send a bird. And I will use Wild Companion.
What are you summoning?
I would like to summon a little bird. And what this looks like is she will weave her hands around and it will create almost a wicker bird structure in the middle that has it's wicker, so it's slightly see-through, and in the center is a black beating mass. And this black beating mass seems to be what's keeping it going. But yes, it is a wicker bird that she will send out.
Upsetting and neat.
He double takes at that. I'm never gonna get used to you.
She would just smile at him with that. And yeah, I'll send my lovely little wicker bird to go find my friends.
What is your passive perception? Or I guess I should say, what is your companion's passive perception?
Okay, companion's passive perception. It is a bird. It takes the shape of a crow, so that is a crow's passive perception. Crows have a passive perception of way less than they should have, 13.
All right, you send your crow down. And using your mental link with your crow, all it says back is no one. And you feel like when you look over the edge, the area seems to be totally desolate. You're pretty sure that your friends have not arrived yet. But you feel pretty confident that your crow will be able to see them once they emerge from wherever they emerge from.
Okay. I'll
Speaking of which,
leave him perched somewhere.
Yeah, I guess we would want to wait till they've passed us or to a point where their backs are going to be at least for a period of time to us before we would try anything. Hold on. Looking at my spell book too, like, I don't have much of anything. We'll have something.
because where you are, it looks like a normal city street that would connect itself to like industrial areas with warehouses and loading bays, but it's just underneath the city, so it's all dank and wet and stuff. There's a
Okay.
large ramp behind you that would lead up to the surface, but it is boarded over currently. And it looks like the only way to really get in and out of here are some stairwells over by where these Redfield guys are very lazily patrolling.
Oh, so they're on the other side of the tracks.
No, they're on your side of the
Oh,
tracks.
they-
You guys
they're
are just
on our
viewing them from a distance right now.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I mean, Marjorie, she gestures at the cars. We can use those for cover, and we will have to head to the other stairs. We cannot climb sheer walls, obviously. She kind of makes sure because she's wearing, the knee-length coat, she makes sure it's, like, out of the way, and just try to be quiet, I suppose. You can do that, yes. She kind of looks at Modest expectantly.
He like shrugs you. He's like, "What do you want from me?"
Man, why is everyone being so mean to Modest for no
She puts
reason?
her finger to her lips. She's teasing him. She's like, "Come on, act like you've done something in secret before." If they're turned away, she will make an attempt to at least get as far as one of the cars.
All right, so you want to try and sneak past these Redfield guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got Heinrich and Marjorie, and we also have Aramis and Nadia and Modeste and Yaraplek and Madame Black.
We have a decent collection of people. Oh yeah, you didn't even take Black with you.
Ooh,
Oh.
listen.
I honestly didn't even think about
Party-
that, but I suppose I should have put my own bodyguard in the contract.
Yeah.
We split the party.
Would you have?
Only.
Yeah, I
Oh.
probably would have. Because
That
she is
would've made
employed by
sense.
me,
It's
and that
funnier.
probably
It's
would have
much
made
funnier
it an easier to convince. Like, I have,
This is my
I have-
hire. Yeah.
yeah, I have
Yeah, that's
someone
true.
escorting me.
Yeah, all right. You have Madame Black with you. She mean mugs all of the conscripts on her way over and scoffs at them that the pores would dare to give her such guff.
That sounds about right.
I was going to ask, since Daisy and I are keeping an eagle eye on the train track area below, would we be able to, like, signal them when nobody's looking so that they can move without being seen?
Yeah, you and Daisy and Daisy's familiar would be able to do that.
Yeah, I'll help you guys out with some advantage or a lower DC or something.
All right. So all of yous that are doing the sneaking, roll me stealth checks.
Preemptively, can I summon my mage hand and pick up? I imagine there's a ton of rocks here. Can I just have the mage hand hold one and have it like be somewhere else, like 30 feet away, so it can make a potential sound to distract?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Don't know how
I think
this
that
is
was a
gonna
really good
go.
idea.
Heinrich.
Oh no. Hold on. Who's struggling?
I'm thinking it's Modeste right here.
Oh no. Because did he roll?
Yep.
He rolled a grand total of 3.
Oh, there it is. Can I
So
could
it's a
inspire him.
That's a nat one. It's not going to do shit.
Can I?
Modest
I
saw,
didn't
like, a
roll
stack of
great
dirt
either,
shit
because I
in his
imagine
mouth.
we're being herded together.
Rama should not be rolling better than the two that should be stealthy.
Yeah.
And yet here we are.
Yeah, here we are. Could
Alright, since you're holding a big old rock with your mage hand at a distance,
Oh yeah, we're gonna.
you can re-roll one of those.
How about we have modest reroll? Because he's the one bringing the average down.
I mean, you have a higher plus than he does, but sure.
Barely. Only one more plus. But he should. Oh,
Hey!
thank goodness!
Oh my god!
Feast and famine. All right.
Famine and feast in this case.
Oh.
So you
Good
know what?
call.
Yeah, you've been giving Modest a whole lot of shit this entire time.
We have.
And so you're sneaking across. It's like, oh, do this, Modest. Do that, Modest. You can't do anything, Modest. Oh, you're a coward, Modest. You know, what about you guys? You're not so great, huh? Where would you be without me now? Oh, you'd be sleeping on the street. That's what you'd be spending even more of your quote-unquote hard-earned money. And he's like getting louder and louder and complaining at you guys while he goes. You just hear these Redfield guys. Did you hear something? Yes. Sounds like the bitching of a young nobleman. Yes. How queer. Indeed, indeed. Do you think someone is sneaking past us at this moment? No. Must be echoes from up above. Imagine one of these black hats tossers just slumming it down here in the real world. You know, Modest just has the angry eyebrows. The losers can't even sneak properly either. And
He's about
he
to turn
angrily-
around.
he angrily presses control and enters stealth mode, and Crab walks the entire way silently.
I was about to say if he was about to like approach them, I just come up behind him since I rolled so low and just shove him along. Like no, go.
It would have been funny. He comes up behind him and just snaps both their necks, walks past. Stealth.
The group of you manage to make it past these guards without a whole lot of trouble. You guys get Modest dialed in, and the area around them, around the entrance to the loading bays, is like weirdly empty. Like you guys have been around train stations before, and you're used to seeing them filled with people, and it's very strange to see it completely empty. Some of the entrances have been boarded up and some of the gates are closed, but you find some gates that are still open, and you exit them onto the tracks proper, into the open air. And you suddenly feel quite exposed. However, you do see that atop one of the rail cars nearby, there is a strange wicker bird with a gross pulsating black glob in the middle of it.
Well, I have a feeling I know who has created that, whatever we want to call it.
It's not a bird. Marjorie just kind of wrinkles her nose and do we think it's indicating the direction to go in, or is it just sitting there watching us?
It looks like it was searching for you. When it sees you, it hops a little closer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll go over to it and I guess maybe follow it? Because are we back at street level?
No, you haven't
Oh, no.
crossed the tracks yet. You just got on the other side of the guard.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess she'll just keep looking for the rest of the way across, because I don't know, unless does the bird look like it's gonna lead us somewhere or no?
It looks pretty eager for you to follow it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Daisy and Ollie, hit me with perception.
Let's follow this hideous thing.
It makes eye contact with Marjorie.
Solid.
Ugh. How
Does it have
unsettling.
eyes, or are they just holes?
They are black, soulless holes. Like,
Yeah.
you'd think there'd be a bit of light because it's wicker and see-through, but no, it's just black and soulless and horrible.
Oh, you look like
Oh,
an
turn it
emaciated
down.
little corpse
Oh, that was
of
disadvantage. Oh god.
poor little bird that perished under a tree. She just kind of stares at this thing
It's
sadly
fine,
and then
it's
follows
it's
it.
wicker. It's wood. It's
Yeah, but it also kind of looks like a, dried out dead bird.
Listen, I told you guys it would be more adorable than Daisy. I wasn't wrong.
I don't know. We're in the same ballpark here.
Oh, I never said it would be in the same ballpark. I just said it.
Yeah, Marjorie's following it.
No, you
But
gotta
also
throw out,
keeping an
like,
eye out.
Bambi level adorable stuff to compensate.
No.
I don't think there's kind of any compensation here.
No, no, there
Nah.
isn't.
You guys want the horse again?
No.
No, never
I don't think
again.
anyone wants the horse.
You guys really seem to like the horse. I don't know what. I guess I'll have to turn into the horse at some point.
Oh god.
You do tend to mention the horse a lot.
They do, don't they?
It is Daisy's new word. New word.
Horse.
It's her word of the day. Word of the week,
It's good
probably.
the fucking week.
Yeah, it's the word of the week. All right, so we follow the bird, but also Marjorie's keeping an eye out here because she's not quite sure how watchful the bird is.
Give me a second. Ooh, okay. You begin following the bird, and Daisy, you direct the bird to some of the best places where you believe are going to keep your friends out of sight. And you feel pretty confident that you're going the right way. You're keeping them under the bridge. You're keeping them behind piles of debris and like shit that people have thrown off the bridge in order to like dump it or whatever, like couches, tables, cabinet, horses. And they hide behind those. And while you are doing this, Ollie, you are trying to keep an eye out, but you find the amount of debris and like the visual busyness of the train tracks to be a little bit too much for you. So you figured that it would be a better idea to keep an eye out for Daisy while she does this. And she seems to be doing a good enough job on her own.
Yeah.
And you spy a pair of pretty heavily armed drow headed your way. You see them kind of walking down some stairs, about a street or so over, and when you look at them, they like glance over a couple of times and lock eyes with you both times, and you notice that they quicken their pace after this.
Oh, aren't we still on the bridge between the checkpoints?
No, you're on the other side of the checkpoint. You've cleared the checkpoint.
Oh, okay.
They probably wouldn't let you loiter too much anyway. Not
That's
with
fair.
Daisy.
Yeah, they kick you out, basically.
They lock eyes with me. Have they seen much of Daisy yet?
You are not sure, but you feel like they probably wouldn't have since they locked eyes with you first.
Okay. And how far away are they?
They are about 150 feet away, but there's a bunch of stuff in the way. There's a few buildings and some alleyways.
Okay. I am going to... you said they were drow. Did they have any, like, distinctive markings on them?
Yeah, they were wearing a bunch of leathers and hardened cloth armor with a bunch of black stripes on it, and they had sunglasses on. Sunglasses and big hat.
Does that sound familiar to me at all? Other than just that they're drow?
No, not at all.
Okay. When they're conveniently around a corner on their way over here, I'm going to turn to Daisy. I'm going to cast Enlarge Reduce and reduce them. So now they are roughly the size of a child's doll. And tell them mentally to hide or scurry over to a better vantage point that you won't be noticed in.
I'll give it a go. This is fun. I was already small.
Now you're itty bitty.
Itty bitty buddy.
Sure,
Itty
I-
Yeah, roll me
terror.
a stealth with advantage. Daisy, when Ollie casts Reduce on you, you hang on to sort of the railing, and you manage to climb up on it and scurry over to a pillar that the railing kind of comes up against, and you grab like a nearby newspaper and wrap it around you, and you feel invisible. You don't think anybody's going to notice you while you've got like this little newspaper for it.
Oh, hell yeah. I'll continue to look through the bird's eyes and give everyone a hand.
And you do so. Now, Ollie, what are you doing about these two drow?
I would like to. How far away from the checkpoint on the north side of the bridge am I at this point?
Oh, you're a
Like
couple
just
hundred
past
feet away.
it, or
Couple
Say
hundred
again?
feet. Couple hundred feet
Okay.
away.
Okay, cool. How much time do I have before they get to me?
30 seconds, maybe.
I would like to use as much of those 30 seconds as I can to try to prestidigitate myself to make myself look sick, like I belong over here in the quarantine zone. Because you can clean or soil with prestidigitate.
And what are we doing with Madame Black?
Ah, forgot about Madame Black. I always forget about Madame Black.
No.
How could you do such a thing?
And I don't think she's gonna act sick.
No, she's not.
Is she sure to? You
I
said
mean,
there's a bunch
she-
of stuff all over, isn't there?
She generally does what you tell her to, within reason.
That's true.
I'm going to ask her to pretend like she's keeping me away from the checkpoint. Like she's a mercenary employed by the gate and is just keeping people this direction back from the gate.
She kind of shrugs and she says, "Oh, very well. Master Oliver, I shall do what I can." I was in a few plays during my schooling in Ashburn Sound. I imagine it will be enough to fool these vagabonds.
Just act like I'm poor.
I shall close my eyes and imagine Yaroplek.
Yeah, that'll do it. And he gets his best fake cough going.
These two drow round the corner nearby, and Madame Black immediately begins hollering at you and shoving you. "Stand back! You vile demon, you! Oh, disgusting! I shall surely have to wash my hands after handling you, ruffian!
You don't understand. I need to get back across the bridge.
Well, then if you need to get back so badly, why don't you simply throw yourself over the side and stay out of my luggage while you're at it?
Does she take my briefcase from me?
If you've left it, she's got it nearby.
Yeah.
She's just
Probably
going really
better at
hard
this
into
point.
pretending you're Yarplek.
Yeah. How are the drow reacting now?
They kind of turn the corner, and when she starts talking, they like stop and stare slack-jawed at the situation.
I'll just start coughing up a lung. Dry heaving.
All right, you two, that's enough. One of them steps forward and takes a mace out of his belt buckle and kind of wags it at you two. We'll have no trouble here on the north side, do you understand?
Right. No trouble.
I don't recognize either of you. Did you just cross? I'm pretty sure they were from the last group, but I can see why they might have sent this fellow over, but about this woman here? Another adventurer looking for danger, perhaps. What? Me? Danger? Don't be ridiculous. I'm a mercenary working at the checkpoint. Bit far away from home, aren't you? Yes. And I shall... She kind of looks over to you for guidance.
He just winks at her and says, all right, fine. I won't try to go back.
Yes, well, I believe you. You foul cur. I shall return to the checkpoint post-haste. To my checkpoint, the checkpoint that I work at. I'm a mercenary, and she runs away.
She must have gotten an A in stage performance.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Give this woman an Oscar.
You love me. You really love me.
Right. All right.
These two drow guys keep their distance from you, Ollie. But they walk up on either side of you, and one of them asks, "So, what do you have?" Cluttered lung, crackling cough.
He'll say a crackling cough. And we'll cough.
One of them, they kind of share a look, and one of them nods and says, "It is not too far along. You might want to head over to the makeshift clinic over on 6th Street. They might be able to save your life over there."
I guess he'll give a nod and try to take a glance at the nearest street sign and see what that means for where he needs to go.
I need you to make an insight.
Wonder what they're doing.
They're keeping an eye on you, Ollie. They're watching you a little too closely. You feel like this is some kind of test.
Oh no, he's bad at those.
I don't know. Is he?
I don't know. I don't know.
For-
Ollie seems like he'd test well.
Yeah, you'd be right about that.
Right?
Now that they're closer and I can get a look at them, does it seem like they're equipped for any particular kind of work? Like, what does it strike me that these guys would be over here for?
These guys just kind of look like thugs. They're wearing all sorts of mismatched gear. One of them has a mace, the other has a pair of daggers. One of them has a pistol with leather armor, the other one is wearing like really old, ratty, hardened cloth. The only thing that's really similar about them is that they have crudely painted on some black stripes across their arms and chests. They do not seem like professionals at all. Kind of fun to see two drow in the same place at once, though.
Yeah, certainly seems that way. Ollie is going to act like he's starting to walk away. Then he is going to turn his back to them. And if they start to follow him, he's going to round a corner. But then he will pull a wand out of the inside of his jacket, and he'll be gone before they turn the corner behind him.
Oh, they do indeed follow you. And you turn yourself invisible, and the two of them pause before they turn the corner, but when they do it all melodramatically, like splaying their legs out, and one of them draws his knife. And they say, "Joke's on you! 6th Street is in the other... Wait, where did he go? He disappeared. You saw him too, right? Yes, of course, I was talking to him."
And I'm already sprinting back the other direction towards Daisy and Madame Black.
You find that Madame Black is sprinting back towards your guys' last known location. She's out of breath. Oh, they were not happy to see me back at the checkpoint. Very rude. But you look over the ledge at the train tracks, and you find that Daisy has led the other half of the group safely across the tracks, and right now they are underneath your current location. You guys get to the other side of the train tracks thanks to Daisy's little helpful bird, and you climb up onto the platform and find another similar entrance that you found on the other side. Like, you take some boards off and slide underneath, and you find an almost identical area on the other side here, but this one has more people in it. There are some barrel fires with some huddled figures around them. You guys start hearing a lot of coughing and sneezing, and some wailing in the distance. You are not sure if it is crying babies or somebody dying.
Okay, that's... Marjorie hesitates briefly, but I imagine we have to cut through here to get back to street level.
Yes, you see a similar ramp like you did on the other side, only this one is boarded up, but some of the boards have been removed.
Just don't breeze too much.
Yeah, I take out like a pocket handkerchief and I like put it over my mouth. Because I imagine it also does not smell too great here.
It smells terrible.
Oh yeah, I'm covering my mouth while I move forward.
You pass a group of people by a barrel fire, and a few of them turn slowly to look at you guys, and then just turn back to the fire. And all of them have like really gross coughs that sound very mucusy. almost like they're gargling every time they cough.
Ah, good old pneumonia.
Hooey, they wish.
Oh, you know, I'd hate to be in this area and not have immunity to diseases. That'd be horrible for people.
Yeah, you guys all have immunity to disease, right?
I
No.
guess. Oh, is it just me? Oh,
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Marjorie knows. Like, do we kind of in the do people here know how more or less you get sick, or at least the rich people or more educated
More or less,
might?
yes. You know to stay away from these people and to cover your mouth.
Okay. All
And
right.
being clean helps as well.
Right. Okay. Which these people are none of those things, I imagine. But yeah, we're not about to go touching them. But yeah, Marjorie leads the way up these or up this throughway and then the stairs leading back up to the main road.
And you guys come out fairly nearby where Daisy, Ollie, and Madame Black are. You hear them conversating nearby and find your way over.
Ollie, what happened? You're just like looking at Ollie's a mess now.
Oh, he'll take a moment to prestidigitate himself. Just a couple of thugs. Took some convincing. And, invisibility. But I'm fine, and that's the point.
You spray yourself with magic and your suit cleans itself.
Yeah, Marjorie nods, glad that you're all right. And this is tighter security than I thought. They spent money on Redfield. She gestures, points a thumb back over her shoulder.
He, furrows his brow because he didn't see that because he wasn't with you guys. Really? Redfield's here.
How many were there? A small batch of them?
2.
Yeah, there were the ones that you guys had to deal with. There were just 2 of them, but there were a couple more groups in the distance that
Yeah,
you saw.
further down. There were 2 near us, but we could see there were some further down the tracks. So they have spent money on security and have blocked off all the bridges across, and now we have gotten a closer look at the ailing. It seems they were not exaggerating. Not that I had wondered how honest they were being at the checkpoint, but now it seems all the more likely that they are right. I wonder what is wrong. And if clerics could fix this. I'm surprised they've not sent anyone over. Surely it will spread, won't it?
Eventually, probably, but if they keep not letting anyone through, then hold it off for at least a while.
Have we seen any clerics around? Or healers of any kind?
Very rarely. You
Okay.
probably haven't seen any actually so far.
Okay.
You may have seen one private cleric at the Novikov residence.
Okay.
But Nadia's in the background kind of shaking her head. She says, clerics, they can heal dozens of people every day. What happens when there are thousands, tens of thousands that need healing?
I suppose. I have never had to really consider. She kind of folds her hands thoughtfully.
Stretched too thin.
Don't worry. You can just write a letter to Tanis, and they will send someone in 6 to 8 months. She rolls her eyes.
Marjorie sighs and keeps her handkerchief close. Now that we are back to street level, she turns back to Modeste. Our very sneaky guide. Which direction do we go? We should be quick. We do not want to be here longer than we have to be. She kind of looks up and down the street cautiously.
When you turn to Modeste, he's not really paying attention to you. He's kind of like looking off into the distance, kind of grimacing. Ugh, this is way worse than I remember it.
Well, the last time you were here, no one was diseased and trash filled the streets.
Well, not no one, but way less than this. There were no checkpoints on the bridges. Nobody barfing up their guts underneath the city either.
And how long ago was
At
that?
least not for these reasons.
He kind of lets out a whistle. He goes, I've been gone for a month and a half now, I believe. 2 months? He kind of scratches his chin. I was not keeping track. I didn't plan on going back.
That is quite a rapid decline.
Yes,
quick.
well, it is the bad part of town. It is to be expected.
This isn't just the bad part of town, Modest. This is, squalid.
Is
Well,
this whole
yeah,
part
that's what-
like this?
Yeah, that's what bad means, right?
So when we leave this area, there's going to be better. She gestures further into this part of the city. Or is this the high point?
Modeste says that the worst part of the town was always the northwest, which is
Is
where
that-
you guys are, and you need to go
Okay.
further in.
Oh wow, so we did come in supposedly at the worst part. Oh.
The north part of town, he says, is just considered the bad part of town because that's where all the industry used to be.
Oh, so we're at like the actual capital B bad part of town.
Oh yeah.
Okay, well then, yes, well, let's, onward, shall we? And she will, gesture for him to, guide us. Probably we leave this main road and go a little further into the city, because otherwise we'll have to just walk past the checkpoint again, right? Or can we continue in the direction?
No, yeah, you're not gonna go past the
Okay, okay.
checkpoint.
Yeah, so yeah, we just move onward.
Because the checkpoint is at the very edge of the bridge. It's the entrance to the bridge.
Oh, okay.
They don't wander around. But you guys continue on, and Nadia in the back kind of brushes herself off, and she says, not to sound racist or anything, but if you see any drow, Duragar, kobolds, orcs, Munavri, or Sawagin, keep a careful watch because they're probably part of the Night Riders.
Is it who?
The Night Riders, they're the gang that runs this part of Djozerstan. They will probably be wearing armor or clothing with black stripes on it. Probably also wearing sunglasses.
Oh, yeah, like the two drow that I encountered.
Did you kill them?
No, I did not like my chances by myself.
She kind of nods and she says, yes, this is good, this is good. You did not fight them?
Nope. They thought I was sick, they tried to jump me, but I disappeared.
She kind of nods, she goes, good, good. If it is as bad as Pretty Boy over here says it is, then they are probably completely in control of this part of town. The gangs are the government now.
So, well, I suppose that would explain the rapid increase in squalor. Oh god, squalor is about as hard to say as squirrel with German accent.
Scavala? Scavalor?
Oh, ew.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry, guys. If you think that's bad, I can make it worse. So, as we're walking, the bird would have like perched on Daisy's hat, and it goes to caw at one point, and instead of cawing, it just goes bird.
I'm okay with that, actually.
Oh,
Yarplek in the background. I just want to point out that at this point, I have at no position in our travels judged this lady.
I would
So if she
also
goes
like-
crazy and kills everyone, I expect to run away while she is murdering all of you.
I also would like to point out that so far it's been Pokemon naming conventions here, and they just say what they are.
She's learning common, okay? She's trying her best.
Baby steps. You learned bird somewhere along the line.
Yeah.
Papa Daisy, a beautiful little birdie. You see, she is not senile. She knows what she is doing.
Is there like a
Oh.
corpse anywhere? Because if so, the bird's gonna go and just start eating it.
I do not believe anybody ever called her senile.
You did with your eyes, old man.
My eyes do not speak as they do not have mouths.
Oh, they speak all right. I'll be watching you. They wander.
And what will your eyes be telling me?
They'll be telling you that I'm watching you and that you should be on your best behavior.
I will listen very closely for that.
Yeah, you'd better. Modest gets the shifty eyes, wondering if you won that conversation. Unsure. Nadia's eyes say that he did not. To the best of his abilities, Modest leads you deeper into the slums. Ooh. When did you want to take a break?
Oh,
well,
yeah,
it
this
is
that bedtime for the
8:40
kitty.
now, so it's about that time.
Okay.
Should we now, before we move on to the warehouse?
Yeah, before we get to caught up in what's going on.
Yeah, sure. You guys will make it to the warehouse. It's a total dump. Pretty small building, about 3 stories tall. It has some crappy, rusty cranes sticking out the top part of it. And you see a bunch of people milling about outside. A bunch of hand carts, no animals though. And you see a bunch more of the night riders hanging around.
Of course we do.
No shit, there you guys are at Raoul's storage. It's a 3-story tall square building. It is covered in faded and gross looking brown and purple-ish paint. The sign is all damaged and ramshackle, you barely read it. And there are a bunch of people milling about the entrance, which is guarded by a pair of drow soldiers or gangsters or whatever you want to call them. And when you guys walk up, one of them points to Ollie and says, Hey, that's the guy. No, it's not. He looks completely different. No, that is the guy. His clothes are clean. Oh, so what? That is your criteria for a disguise, dirty versus clean? He's wearing the same clothes. He could have washed them or something. Don't be stupid. It's a different guy. He's got the same hair. Look at him. Look at the face. Yes, his face is not covered in grime and filth, and he doesn't look diseased in the slightest. And so when you guys are walking up, this is the conversation that these two guards are having.
Oh yeah. Well, as we're walking up, I guess this would be the we ask Ollie. So are these the guys?
They are.
Those it be them.
And I look. This is Raoul's?
It is indeed. Heinrich, when you look around, you see that people are filling hand carts with like sacks and crates of random junk.
Oh.
There's glass bottles, there's tons of wine and liquor. There's like random bits of furniture, jars, pieces of art, paintings, rugs. There's everything here.
So he kept his magical contraband in a junk warehouse. Yeah, that tracks.
So it would seem.
Are these guys like at the doorway or?
These two guards are at the entrance, yes.
Oh, so they are guarding. Uh-oh. And we're looking a little high class for the area. We're gonna go at this legit. Heinrich, are you taking the wheel?
You know, I might as well give him a chance, right?
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Heinrich will hobble up to them, as he do. And, gentlemen, I have some business with this. Well, I don't know exactly who really owns this building, but was it Rupert's?
It is Raoul.
Raoul, something with an R. It was the owner? Raoul, I presume?
Well, one of them starts to answer you, but the other points past you and says, yes, but we have some business with you. That guy right there. Is he part of your group? He points to Ollie.
Hey, mate.
Yes, he's been with us for several days now.
He turns to his partner. You see, he even sounds the same. What are you talking about? He sounds nothing like the guy. The guy was coughing, idiot. Oh, that's it. That's all it takes. He just feels himself up and then coughing. That's what it takes to convince you. The other dude rolls his eyes. So I can tell you are not from around here, old man. Yes, this is Raoul's. It's owned by Raoul. It's an auction house and also a warehouse for people that actually pay their bills. We had a big morning today. Almost everything got sold, I believe. So are you here for an auction or are you here to pick things up?
Well, assuming it has not been auctioned off, I am here to settle a bill and collect some things.
Settle a bill, eh? What kind of money do you have on you?
Enough, I believe, to cover the expenses required.
He nods at you. Show me that.
You are not Raoul. My business is not with you.
Yeah, well, you're outside and Raoul is inside, so your business is with me for now. He shrugs. This is a credit check. I'm not going to take anything. Just show me.
I'm gonna insight that. These guys look shady.
They do indeed look shady. However, you kind of look around, and everybody here seems a little shady. But even though these guys are like local thugs, they kind of seem to be running quasi-legitimately. You figure there's a 50-50 chance they're going to hassle you. But also, I mean, you look pretty rich. You feel like you could maybe bluff your way past them if you tried hard enough.
Do I look like a common, well, slum dweller? Do you think I can get an outfit like this if I do not have the money?
he narrows his eyes at you. He says, "Sure, anyone could get these clothes, but no, not just anyone could call me a slum dweller like you. You sound like my dad. Go in, old man." The other guard says, "No, hold on a second. You are not going anywhere, pretty boy." He points at all of you guys. "All of you, tell me how long he has been with you and where he was exactly. How long has it been? I don't know, like 20, 30 minutes? 20, 30 minutes ago." He points at all of you.
Marjorie just kind of looks between him and the group. Is your friend all right? She looks at the other guy, the other drow who's being reasonable.
You see, they are starting to ask questions. You're making a fool out of yourself. No, you are making a fool out of yourself because this is the guy. It's literally the guy. He's wearing the same clothes. He has the same. What is wrong with you?
You seem to be quite hung up on this. I mean, are you sure you're feeling well? I mean, this is that part of town.
He puts his hands on his friend's shoulder. How many barony half-elves in blue pinstripe suits have you seen today? He looks over at you, Ollie, and says, 2? No! And they instantly start up this fight. And you guys walk in.
Yeah, Marjorie's about to be like, people can look similar. I'm sure this gentleman does not own the only pinstripe suit. But yeah, we're gonna let that fist fight happen instead.
Ollie, when you walk in, your boy points at you, and he says, "I'm going to remember your face. I'll never forget you! I'll get you, whoever you are!"
If I were playing a barbarian character, I would definitely want to say the last person who said they would remember my face is dead. But I am not. I'm playing the wizard, so I'm just going to smile and wink.
His boy is holding him back. He's so mad.
I'm excited for 30 sessions down the line where that dude shows up again.
Yeah, we've made a villain.
And everyone's forgotten me.
It didn't take much.
It took Ollie showing up.
Right? Just messing with somebody. Alright, so we head in. We'll leave this hot mess behind.
It looks like an antique store on the inside. Like there are shelves and shelves filled with like random bits and baubles. And towards the opposite end of the first floor of the warehouse, you see some rickety stairs going up, and there's a few tables set up where a bunch of people are exchanging money. And you guys see a hunchbacked Sawagan guy who looks like one of his eyeballs is about to fall out of his socket. Like he's pretty hideously ugly. And he's walking up and down the tables with his hands behind his back, kind of ordering people around. He seems to be in charge.
Perhaps this is Raoul. She gestures points him out to Heinrich.
Oh, if nothing else, you will know where this Raoul is.
I'll head
Yeah,
over.
we'll head over. I'll call out to him. Are you no. I'm looking for the owner, Raul.
He turns to you and kind of hobbles up and he says, "Yes, I can tell that you are not from around here. It is I, Raoul in the flesh, or what is left of him."
Then it is you that I have business with.
You seem to be a proper gentleman. With the smell of you, I am guessing the Alfaxmos Imperium, yeah?
You're very good at your business. I am indeed.
Marjorie rolls her eyes in the background. Could spot him a mile away.
He goes, "Yes, you are very lucky that I am not a discerning businessman. I will do business with anyone, even your kind. What can I do for you here?" He kind of holds out his hand to shake yours.
Oh yeah, no, Heinrich will shake his hand. I wish to settle a debt a business associate of mine has with you and collect the contents of his storage if you still possess it.
"Oh, yes, of course. I will happily take money for any reason." He grabs himself one of his ledgers and asks you for your associate's name.
Osipova?
He pauses and kind of drags one of his eyes up to you. "Well, I have some good news, and I have some bad news. Herr Heinrich, you will not be required to settle our debt. However, it is because the contents of the container have been sold."
To who?
This is information that will cost you.
Does he have the ledger in his hand?
He snaps it shut.
Well, before he does that, would I have been able to sneak a peek?
Oh man, roll me a dexterity save.
Oh no! Dexterity save. Okay, let's give it a try. Oh yeah,
No, how dare you succeed?
19. Gimme.
Nice.
While you you look down at the ledger while this guy is talking to Heinrich, and you notice that he is not being 100% truthful with Heinrich. The debt has been paid for, but not everything has been taken from the lot. Because you notice that there are like X's or check marks or tick marks or whatever next to every item that has been taken or sold, or every bunch of items or whatever. But a bunch of the things under the Sevelode's lot, only a few of them have check marks, but the rest of them don't. And as for the name, there isn't one listed. All it says is that the purchaser is listed as Old Lady.
Old lady, perhaps a local of some sort.
But yeah, your boy says, that's what it cost you.
We came an awful long way. We should see the lot to be sure it is all gone.
He like frowns and cringes. But you need to see this is all done for. It is all sold.
Then it will be an empty lot, and we will have come to see an empty lot.
He gives you an angry eyebrow. He says,
She gives him the, the opposing angry eyebrows.
Oh no.
He has 2. She wins.
Right, I have 2, I win.
he grumbles and tosses the ledger underneath one of the tables in another pile of other ledgers. And he just goes, fine, this way. And he begins hobbling up the stairs. And he goes up the 2 flights of stairs, barely, and makes his way over to a large drum, a big old wooden cylinder, and he opens it up, and he pretends to be surprised, like, oh, wow, that's crazy, there's a bunch of stuff in it still, what's up with that?
Marjorie just kind of smiles and takes a good look at some of this stuff. Anything interesting here?
You take a look, and you find a bunch of interesting high-value items. You see a lot of chemicals, a lot of different materials used for metalworking and making physical magical supplies, magical items, I should say. There's no Ascentium here, but there's a lot of like various metal powders like copper oxide and stuff like that. That this guy, like when you turn and look at him, he doesn't know what any of this stuff is, but you guys do because you're like experts, especially Heinrich and Ollie.
Is any of this the stuff I've come looking for?
You kind of brush past Marjorie as she's looking at some of the tools and what have you, and you recognize some of these tools because they're very similar to the ones that you use to work on your apparatus. And you see a secure container, a kind of a black wooden box with brass fittings, and it is the same kind of box that Vcephalode would send you your stuff in. And you pick it up and open it, and unfortunately find that it is empty. But you examine the box briefly, and you find that the lock has been forced open. There's even like still a bit of like either the pick or the screwdriver that whoever opened it left in the locking mechanism itself.
Well then, there's only one thing to do in this situation. Turn to roll. I suppose you know who opens this.
He kind of takes the collar of his shirt and, stretches out a little bit. Maybe. The face is a little fuzzy. My memory, it is so bad, in my old age.
Good thing you write everything down. Like a businessman should.
You are a funny man. You're very silly.
We found the bill for how much he owed. How much was it?
I believe it was $4,000. I'm not 100% on that one.
Sounds about right.
I'm gonna put like $300 in his hand. Perhaps this will help your memory.
Goodness gracious! Look at that! It is a miraculous recovery. I have remembered some details.
5,000 for the warehouse, according to my notes.
Okay. I was close.
Yeah. I'm not giving him that much.
Well, 300 is enough anyway. And he leans in close to you, Heinrich, and he says, "It was a woman. She refused to give her name, but we have seen her around, and her money was good." He tells you that she bet 10 grand on this lot out of the gate, and nobody could match her, so she just got it.
Aramis's ears will perk up a little bit. And
Yeah,
he'll
we share a
speak
look.
up and say, "Did you happen to get a glimpse of this woman?"
He kind of shrugs a little bit. He says, "Well, she was covered in robes. Very secretive like. But I believe she was a tiefling woman, gray-skinned."
He'll stroke
Some
his beard.
far more
on.
secretive than the others around here, unfortunately. Go ahead.
I don't suppose you or any of your workers saw which way she went?
Well, I know I didn't. I was here, conducting the auction. But I will tell you something else. She was very interested in this lot. And when we opened it up for her, she went straight to the back, cracked open that box, and took whatever silverware doodads was inside. It made a hell of a clattering noise. Something metal, heavy.
A great tiefling should be somewhat easy enough to ask after. Fairly
Not
unique.
that common.
Yes.
Is that what you guys want to do? You want to go around and ask about this stranger?
Yeah, see if someone's caught more specific stuff about her. Is there anything in here? Anything else in here that we would like want to take, or is this just stuff we would leave for Kira?
Give me a sec.
Yeah, sure. Because I was just thinking, well, we shouldn't leave it here. All of this wasn't bought, and it's technically hers.
I don't trust this guy not to sell it, so we should at least bring it to Kira.
Or have it delivered. Well, because like they're auctioning it because of the debt, I assume.
Which
For the
got
lot?
paid by this tiefling.
Yeah, which
Technically.
maybe. Well, we don't. Well, because you said it was 5,000, so then he would have made like double then.
Exactly. So I
Off
don't
of what? Yeah, so we could theoretically take all this stuff back to her.
Well, we'll probably still have to pay him something though, because
Yeah, he's gonna want more of something because we're different customers. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just wondering.
Yeah, what do you guys want to do about this situation?
Well, because I was thinking about saying that, putting on my inspector face and saying that, she's investigating lost items to a family member, and that Osipova has another heir, and this lot rightfully belongs to her. And kind of go through the weave him through the semantics of he had no business selling it until he had finished business with her, and maybe make it so he sweats a little worried about the law coming down on him for wrongfully selling someone else's property out from under them.
well, I think it's just a matter of how long it was unpaid for that he did that.
Well, because
Yeah,
I think
'cause
they sold it
Vasavalo-
after he died, which wasn't that long ago.
But
Right, but
he had been essentially in forbearance
Delinquent,
on it
yeah.
delinquent for several months at least.
Correct.
I assume that then they would have still eagerly hunted down Kira for money. So she would still go on about, like, the correct course of action. Like, do I feel like I could get him on that a little bit, or at least make him nervous enough to let us seize this and give it to the rightful owner? Because he's already made double on the lot with the tiefling who bought the thing from here.
And there's probably more stuff that got sold too.
Oh yeah, there's other missing things, obviously.
She bought the entire lot, but all she took was the contents of your box.
So he like loses nothing.
Yeah, the rest of it'll just go away, and he'll have an empty lot to rent out to someone else.
This. Yeah, he gets to use this lot. So she'll start to spin it as if he's potentially in trouble, but like, well, since this is a non-issue and it's all already sold anyway, we would just be giving it to the rightful owner.
If you wanted to do that, you could hit me with either a persuasion or an intimidate.
Yes, I will persuade.
I was gonna say I can assist you with the persuasion and like drafting up a little
do some business.
return to. I almost want to say return to sender,
right?
but like
rightful
paid
ownership
for
or
just like a
something,
little contract showing the change of hands.
Should I roll again then?
Sure, if you want to.
Sure, yeah. I like rolling. Oh yeah, it's better. 25.
Holy shit! All right, you tickle him in just the right way. When he sees this contract and you guys promise to take all of this stuff out of here, he kind of hems and haws, and when you start mentioning the Osipovas, he kind of side eyes the fact that you've got a black hat with you. You guys all look very fancy. You can tell that you're making him sweat a little bit. He relents. He basically says, "Fine, whatever. Just get all this stuff out of here. It will be good to have a bit more storage space left for actual paying customers."
How many days have we been traveling together?
Like 2, I think. We're on day 2 because we.
I think you're on day 3, actually.
3. Well, yeah, because the carriage ride.
It is the 3rd of January still.
Cool. So Heinrich pulls a couple pouches out of his pack, and sorry Daisy, everyone but you's getting one because I haven't gotten the last one made yet.
Daisy is, we all look really smart, so Daisy's in a corner trying to eat some plastic fruit she found.
Yes. Everyone now has a bag of holding.
Oh heck yeah!
Oh my god.
Do you try to hand one to Ollie?
Yes, I have 4 made right now.
You can go ahead and give that to Daisy. My briefcase is one.
Nice. That is true. Because you've been able to fit quite a bit in there already.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. I'll walk
you guys
over.
have seen him do it at this point. Like anything important, he literally just drops into like a vacuous space inside. But you've also seen him open it, and it's literally just like clothes or like papers. You've seen him fidget with the combination lock on the outside, and he'll like put in different combinations, and it'll open to different things. One of which is the stand for selling wands.
Right, that all comes out of there. Yeah, no, we'll walk over to Daisy and hand her the bag of holding, and ask if they even had those back when in Daisy's day. For starters.
We had bags of holding, right, Steve?
Yes.
Yeah, she knows what it is. She just hates how it looks.
I mean, they're just like simple black or brown leather pouches.
Yeah, she hates it.
Well, fine, I'll have 2 for myself then.
You like hand it to her, and she like immediately starts growing moss and flowers on it.
Oh, that's fair.
What a personalize it.
Yeah, and then she puts the fake fruit that she still doesn't understand is fake fruit into the bag.
Like, yeah, I'll finish this later.
Like, she's trying to make snacks out of it for Modest, but like she can't. So she's just like, I'll figure this out later.
Alright, I assume we have the bags to like start packing up everything.
Yes, this should make clearing this out quite a bit easier.
Are we able to fit everything into bags?
Hold on a sec.
So I was wondering if there's anything bigger
You-
than the mouth of the bag.
You are able to fit everything of value in here. There were some like chairs and tables and some large metal boxes and stuff, but you can like take everything out of them and put those into the bags. Like there's some furniture left over.
I mean, at some point I could get like a large burlap sack and make it a bag of holding with a much bigger opening.
What
But,
do you mean, like the money sack Daisy has?
This fills your guys' bags.
Okay.
I'd like to point out that unless you guys specifically request it, Daisy does not understand what's going on and will not be putting any of this stuff in her bag.
Gingerly reach over, avoiding the ooze, and like open the flap and start putting stuff in the bag that's on Daisy.
Oh no, it doesn't. Hold on.
Oh yeah, because they have max capacities at some point.
It's like
Yeah, 'cause
500
it's-
pounds of stuff.
Right.
Yeah, it's it doesn't fill up the weight, but it fills up because I think it's only like 60 square feet each.
Oh yeah, just general
64
capacity.
64 cubic feet.
Man, let's have a look at
Cubic
this
feet.
shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so basically, we kind of plan to empty them
It'll-
somewhere else.
It'll halfway fill your bags. I forgot how much bags of holding were.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of heavy stuff in here.
Okay.
But your boy Raul is whatever about the furniture. He says he can just take that and put it somewhere.
Okay. And then so once we're all packed up, Marjorie would start looking for people to question. She'd have an eye out for people who like either have a good view of the place or would have talked to her. She'd actually ask Raul, was there anyone who dealt with the woman the most when she was here?
Yes, two of my best men are stationed at the entrance. It is very likely that at least one of them would remember her.
Oh,
Ugh.
speaking of those men, I think one of them might be coming down with a sickness.
Oh, I hope it's not Otto. He's probably my best man. And the best thing about Otto is that he never forgets a face.
Poor
Right.
Otto.
I think it might be him, Zan. He swears up and down he saw a companion here. Probably about an hour ago at this point, far from where we were.
Don't worry, I'll have a talk with him.
Marjorie pulls out a notebook.
He's a real workaholic. The stress is probably getting to him.
Speaking of the illness, what is it that is going around? Where did it come from?
He just like laughs at you. It? You mean them? Oh, there are many illnesses going about the north side right now.
When does
Cluttered
it start?
lung. He goes cluttered lung, crackling cough. A few people with red ants haunt. Oh, I heard someone even came down with ventrixia.
Ventrixia? Have I ever heard of any of these?
Probably not, but Daisy, you know ventrixia. That's a word.
I know.
Yeah, that's a word you recognize.
Daisy pays attention for the first time. She's very confused at what is a bunch of random crap in her bag, but she's paying attention now.
And when did all these illnesses occur? It just seems like quite a lot in a small, potentially small amount of time.
He kind of narrows his eye at you. He goes, Ven? What do you mean? They've been going around in waves. I suppose it's gotten worse recently, but got shrugged. In case you couldn't tell, I myself got over a nasty bout of face rot.
Oh.
Yes, I'm lucky to be alive.
Oh. So it's safe to assume he didn't always look quite this hideous.
With a disease called face rot, probably not.
Okay.
This is where we find out the face rot actually made him look better.
Right.
He was way
some
uglier
Oh
before.
man, it's not impossible.
twist.
You happen to know
This guy
a
was like uglier.
Do you happen to know a Triton by the name of Ricket?
He shrugs his shoulders. No. Why? Does he suffer from face rot as well?
It looked like it.
He kind of nods. He says, yes. My people originally came from the sea. I hear we are especially susceptible to it.
So clotted lung, crackling cough, ventrixia, and I think I missed one. What was the other illness?
He mentioned cluttered lung, grackling cough. I think he said Redoran's haunt. And ventrixia. And of course, face rot.
Right now, face rot. Yeah, because I was. So is it clotted lung or something else? Am I saying it
Cluttered,
wrong?
like a cluttered room.
Okay.
So what would Daisy actually remember about ventrixia? Since it's a word she knows.
You know it well because it is one of the diseases you used to treat. It is a lot like smallpox. You get scabby sores and pneumonia, and if you get it, you are extremely likely to die. A lot of what you did was basically easing people into their deaths and making them comfortable.
Oof.
Yeah, Daisy would mention to Ollie in his head that she knows what that one is, and there's no coming back from it. You get it, you're dead.
Well, that's not great. Let's not spend any more time here than we need to.
What was that?
What were the other two? I've got ventrixia, face rot, cluttered lung.
Grackling cough? Redoran's haunt? Face
Sweet.
rot? Yeah.
Yeah, I've got those other three.
Oh, how about I just put them all in the chat here?
Yeah.
That'd
Sure.
be nice.
Yeah, because I thought you said crackling cough at first, and I was like, I mean, they all make sense, so I went with it.
You know, it's real interesting that a disease from my type is around.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Well, I mean, the Black Plague is still technically around, and that's an oldie.
Well, you know, it's not like you guys will know because I haven't told you where I'm from. Oh, thank God.
Shifty eyes.
Well, you have a rough estimate.
I have
you don't know.
I have a guesstimate, yeah.
All I told you is I told you a couple of thousand years.
Which
you
is
don't
a lot.
exactly know.
That's a lot.
It's great because I keep forgetting how many years me and Steve settled on. So on my sheet, I've just wrote old as fuck in age.
Does Ollie
Yes.
share the information Daisy mentions, or is that just between them?
It's up to Ollie.
Oh, that Daisy knows what one of these is?
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll probably mention it. Maybe not right this second, but
Right. Yeah, once we part ways with this guy, though, I feel like so he's basically acting like these illnesses have always been here.
You guys would generally know cluttered lung and maybe the grackling cough. They're kind of like very serious normal diseases that you would get in the slums amongst the filthy masses. But Redoran's haunt, none of you know what that is, and only Daisy would know about Ventrixia.
Okay.
Ooh, actually, I lied. Heinrich would know about face rot.
I would, lovely.
Yes, face rot is a magical disease. It is caused by overexposure to blinding spells. It's basically face leprosy, and it spreads by staring.
Whoa.
Oh, weren't you having an eyebrow off with this dude earlier, Nikki?
Well, he got over it already.
That you know of.
It doesn't mean he's
I
not
mean-
a carrier.
Well, he's also not staring at me, hopefully, because I'm not staring at him. She makes a point to not stare at this guy already.
Would he still be contagious from what Heinrich knows?
From what you know, you are not sure. You don't know if it ever goes away, but usually if people survive it and stop having their faces melt, they are considered to be basically in remission. Like, it's generally accepted that it can't spread after that.
Oh, wonderful. This is like horrific face cancer.
More like face leprosy, but yes.
You go into remission from leprosy?
Yeah, this guy can if it's magical face leprosy.
I mean, you stop having body parts fall off, but they don't come back.
But Heinrich, you know about it because a lot of shock troops that did heavy fighting with the Celestines got it.
Because the Celestines used blinding spells? A lot?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, you totally can go into remission from leprosy.
Yeah.
Apparently we've had a cure since 1982.
Sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a whole island in Italy that was literally like a leper colony that they were still putting people onto up until right around that time.
You know, you only have to take this treatment for like 6 months and it's gone. That's pretty good.
That's nice. Hey, her huzzah science.
Gotta brush up on your leprosy lore.
Right.
Well, I didn't know leprosy was going to be coming up in our game.
That sounds like a you problem.
I didn't know magical face leprosy was going to come up, did I?
Right. Well, so none of
Could've
this
been more
sounds
sad.
good. Yeah, Marjorie, like when they're talking about illness, she sort of reflexively uses the handkerchief by her face, and she did thank him for his time, and that we will talk to Otto and the other gentleman he indicated. And she will quickly leave this guy. She finds him off-putting, and also, no, he was sick recently.
Otto and Frank.
Otto and
Well, you
Frank.
guys go outside to talk to Otto and Frank. Ollie's gonna try to talk to this guy into a wand sale.
And so you don't wind this other guy back up again. Poor Ollie.
Yep.
Or Otto.
Yep.
All right. Let's do you guys first. Who wants to go downstairs and talk to Otto?
I will.
Otto and Frank.
I want to stand next to Marjorie and stare at them.
All right, Marjorie. You go downstairs, and you head out the front entrance, and you come face to face with Otto and Frank, and they are mildly disheveled, and both of them are obviously in a bad mood. And Otto just like grits his teeth when you come out. He stares at you.
She smiles sweetly. Hello. I just had a few questions. Raoul said you would have more information.
Oh, did he then?
Yes. Is it Otto that's really pissed, or is that Frank?
No, it's Otto who's really pissed.
No, Otto.
Otto is the guy who never forgets a face.
Okay. Yeah, it's she still she keeps on a professional face. She smiles at him, and the woman who came and bought out the Osipova lot. Raoul said all he really remembered about her was this gray skin and a tiefling. Would there be anything else you remember about her? And she's got her like little notebook and pen out.
He kind of goes, gray skinned tiefling. No, I haven't seen any of those around. But if you're talking about that weird woman in the robes, I'm pretty sure she was a satyr. You know, with horns like that and everything.
She nods. She's seen a million statues of them probably, and citizens.
She's always hanging around outside. He kind of like looks around. Not right this split second, though. Today was the first time she came in, and she left with a sack full of. He kind of like waves his hands around as if he's trying to find the words. There's something. Bunch of metal, maybe silverware. Rarely, if ever, says anything. I've heard people call her Maddie, but I don't know if that's her real name.
Is there anything else about her? Height, perhaps, and direction she usually goes in?
He gives you a vague height, but says that she's hunched over. She seems to be fairly short.
Okay.
She has trouble walking. Probably because she's so old. Or at least that is what I've heard.
So she just acts old? He's not sure if she looks old?
No, he is not sure. He says that he hasn't really seen her face. He's only, like, barely glanced underneath her hood.
Right.
And he figures that she's a satyr because of her horns. But he says to ask some of the porters, and gestures over towards the street where a bunch of people are filling up some hand carts, and you can see a couple of hand carts that are not full. They're drivers or handlers. Porters is the word I just used. Kind of waiting around for a customer.
She looks between Otto and Hank briefly and nods her thing, says, "Thank you for your time." And she will go to the people he indicated.
Otto
He's coming with to stare as well.
Otto grunts, and Frank says, "You see, it wasn't so hard. You see how your day gets better when you are nice to people? Shut up." They both stare back at you, Daisy. Can we help you?
Oh yeah, when Marjorie realizes she doesn't have Daisy, she quickly like runs back like she's forgotten a toddler, and she'll take Daisy, like, gently put her hands on her shoulders, like, "Come along."
Daisy goes with you now.
Yeah, she
But
kind of
the
smiles.
whole time maintains eye contact with these two guys. You could tell by tone one of them was mean to Ollie, so she's just glaring.
Oh, what do you think she has? Looks like some kind of really bad weeping ague. Maybe witchfire? No way. They discuss what ails you.
Falling off a piece of fake fruit that I'd eaten.
They look on horrified.
See, Marjorie's trying to end on a good note here.
No good note.
No good notes, never.
I put in the chat the two other diseases they mentioned: weeping ague and witchfire.
See, look, I got us more information.
Oh, true. That's two more. Oh, while she's like guiding Daisy away, she kind of like looks her over and like looks at the features that might make them consider that, and then like when someone when they mention the witch's fire, she like reflexively like, "Ugh," like let's go of Daisy. But like they're already underway, so hopefully Daisy would keep going with her.
Oh, yeah,
Alright.
yeah.
You head over to the porters, and they all like notice you guys and stand up to attention. Hey, beautiful, come over here. We are ready for you, ready to take you and your grandmother.
Baba,
Goblin?
yes, Baba. She is a little under the weather. I apologies. She'd stand Daisy like a few paces away, politely, and then go up with her notebook. All smiles to these guys. Good day, good day. I just had a few questions about a visitor you've been having at the docks and at the warehouse here.
Visitor? Oh, what are you, a reporter or something? Yeah, no way she's with the government.
Oh no,
Doesn't look like a soldier.
no, I am. Something went missing out of one of the lots at Raoul's, and we were trying to track down a missing item.
They all blink at you.
Yeah, she'll she'll describe the woman who bought the Osipova lot, since that's like the big news, the biggest thing to attach to her, to jog people's memories.
You start describing her, and when you mention that she's a satyr and a tiefling, nobody really seems to like speak up or anything. They just kind of nod along. But when you start talking about the robes and walking funny and old lady, one of them goes, "Oh yeah, I know an old lady. I think you're talking about Mad Maddie." Oh, Mad Maddie. Oh, yeah. Yeah, she wears the robe, can't walk right, she's got horn. Yeah, pretty sure she's a small minotaur. No, she's definitely a tiefling. Oh, she's definitely a satyr. What are you guys talking about? She's a cowfolk. No, you're stupid.
She looks a little bewildered, like she started writing all these species and now she's like, uh-oh. She's like looking at the notes. I am having a feeling that no one really got a good look at her, no?
No, she is always wearing robes, covered with her hood, very mysterious like. Yes, they all go, yeah.
What
We
the-
always ask her if she wants a ride, but she never takes it. What's that?
I was gonna ask what she sounded like. Was anything distinct?
They all kind of go, she sounds kind of scratchy, has she said anything to you? No, she's not said anything to me. Me neither. No, not me either. They say that she basically hangs around but never goes in. And a couple of them said that they saw her go in this time and got kind of excited because maybe she would come out and need them to take her somewhere. But usually she hangs around the periphery and just like watches the auction house. Hobbles around all creepy like.
Yes, it seems she bought from one of the lots and got what she wanted. Which way did she go?
They all point in the same direction, but one of these fellas, a young dwarven lad, kind of crosses his arms in triumph and says, yeah, she went in that direction all right, but none of you know where she went. She lives in the old Steel Garden district. And they all like turn to him in shock and they go, like, how do you know that? Yeah, how do you know that? Because I happened to be in the area when I saw her going past the quarantine walls. And they're all just like silent.
So past the quarantine walls. So she does not live on the side. He said garden district?
Steel Garden.
Steel Garden District. I'm sorry, I'm not the local. Where is that?
Oh, clearly you are not a local. Do not listen to our friend here. Look, the whole north side of Djozerstan is in quarantine. And he kind of looks around, but old Steel Garden is under quarantine by, and he points over towards the Night Riders. It is a quarantine within a quarantine. And a couple of the other boys are like, yeah, they definitely have something going on in there. I assume that that's where they're cooking all their drugs. No, 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 says the guy who's like very serious about this. Everybody knows about all the plague sweeping the area, but old Steel Garden has the worst of them. And the dwarven guy rolls his eyes and he goes, oh boy, here we go. Go ahead, tell her about the curse. He like leans into you and he says, that's where the labyrinth curse is running loose.
Labyrinth
And
curse.
the two boys behind him start laughing at him. It's like, oh, come on, man, there's no way you believe in the labyrinth curse. It's an old wives' tale. They put it in those the gossip rags to make people buy their shitty stories. Yeah, what are you talking about? There's no labyrinth curse. And he like ignores them. He like looks at you and he
Yeah,
says,
she says, humor me. Go on.
there is no cure for the labyrinth curse, you understand? Whoever gets it, and they keep it until they die. And all they do, he like turns over towards the direction he was pointing, and he points at some of the towers. All they do is build mazes. They take themselves or their loved ones or whatever they value, and they put it in the middle of the maze. And then 24/7 until they drop dead, they just build mazes around themselves. They're filled with traps, monsters, whatever they can find. You see the smokestacks in the distance from the old factory? They used to make shoes there. All the fumes from the tanning of the leather came out of the smokestacks. And he points at what you thought were like wizard towers or something, but he's saying that there's smokestacks, but there's like structures near the top of them. Those buildings on the top of them? Labyrinths from the curse. You're full of shit. It's just under construction or something. They never finished. His boys come up with a bunch of excuses for it. They basically call him a conspiracy theorist.
And how long has this labyrinth curse existed?
He shrugs. He says, no one knows. These losers say it doesn't even exist.
Well, how long has the Steel District been under quarantine, as such as this, as the way it is now?
These guys say that the northern part of Djozerstan has been under quarantine for about 2 months. And that the old Steel Garden district has been under double quarantine for about 3 weeks.
So whatever it is has only recently gotten, well, somewhat recently gotten so bad. Do you, when you build these, she turns back to the conspiracy theorist guy, do you just build until you starve to death and die? Like, is it the only thing you do? I'm not sure I understand how
he
it
kind of
works.
hems and haws, and his boys say, he doesn't know. He's making it up. It depends on who you ask because it's a made-up disease. It's not a real curse. Nobody knows about it. You only see it in the worst of the newspapers and the gossip rag. They're just like, you need to stay out of the Steel Garden district because this is where the Night Riders do their big business. It is under guard.
Oh, so like the normal guy theory is it's because where the Night Riders function, they don't want competition.
Yeah, if anything, it's probably made up by the Night Riders to keep people out. Dummies like you, apparently it works. And they all laugh at him.
Yeah, she'll finish her final note and nod and be like, this is all interesting information. And you say Mad Maddie lives there?
The dwarven guy kind of leans up against his handcard and he says, "Oh yeah, I saw her going in. The guards let her."
Where would she have gotten such money? It has been quite impoverished on this side of town.
And they kind of like look at each other and like, "Oh, how much money did she spend?"
I imagine I would know that 10,000 is a lot of money for such a woman to have, right?
Oh yeah.
She shakes her head. Much more money than a woman you are describing to me should ever have, or that anyone would expect her to have.
They all like let out a whistle, like, "Ooh. Oh, she must have gotten the treasure out of her labyrinth to come and buy some somewhat silverware or whatever." And they all like jab at the conspiracy theorist guy.
She'll thank them for their time. I don't think, is there any other question you guys think I should ask? Or have I pretty much covered the bases?
I can't think of anything extra.
Okay. All right. Well, she'll thank them for their time and pleasant smiles to everyone, and she'll kind of meander back to the storage building to wait for everyone outside as she just kind of reviews her notes while the other part of the party does their thing.
The wicker bird sits on your shoulder.
She doesn't notice it at first because I imagine it doesn't weigh a whole lot.
It weighs what a wicker bird would weigh.
Yeah, so it's really light, and she's wearing, the heavier coat because it's kind of cold out. When she like leans over her notes, she sees the shadow of the bird on it.
The bird is also reading your notes.
Right, she just kind of looks at it, and
Bird doesn't drip goo, does it?
yeah, is it
No.
being gross?
No,
Okay.
don't drink with it. Literally, it's a wicker bird with
Okay.
pulsating black mass.
Yeah, she like checks to make sure it's not gooing on her, and she just thinks, "Oh, I'm flicking this thing off of me if it poops." and then she'll go back to reviewing her notes because she's afraid of messing with it.
I mean, it's just gonna sit there and read your notes.
Yeah.
All right.
Other group.
So while Marjorie is doing this, Ollie wanted to try and make a wand sale with this guy.
Yes, he did.
And how did you want to try and go about doing that?
So, Raoul, you're in the auction business, yes?
Yes, clearly.
Well, fortunately for you, I am in the wand making business, and I think I can whip something up for you that might help you keep this place running a little smoother and keeping your pockets a little more flush.
Oh, really? Go ahead, I'm listening.
And Ollie will explain to him the finer points of a wand of distort value.
When you say the name of the spell, it goes, interesting. How does it work?
Well, allow me to demonstrate. Find something for me that isn't worth much, and I'll show you what I can do to it.
He goes, and he grabs a nearby candlestick and places it in front of you too.
And let's say it's like a pewter or something, but
Correct.
he'll cast distort value on it, and it'll then look like it's silver, well polished.
All right, you cast your spell on this simple pewter candlestick, and Raoul, he like leans in closer and goes, "Oh, and this is, this is magnificent." He like looks it all over. Wow. And you say that you are offering your services to me?
I am indeed. I can make you a wand that can do this.
Oh, he is very intrigued.
Now, I will say that this is not a permanent change. This is illusory, lasts 8 hours, but long enough for it to be bought before then.
Oh, these is 8 hours. More than enough time. He is interested. He wants to buy a wand.
All right. He'll say, Ollie will go into, now depending on how much, he'll like start rattling off in quick succession the finer, or the nitty gritty of it. Like, well, if you want to be able to do this to multiple things throughout the day, you'll need such and such and yada blah and this and that, and you'll want it to be rechargeable because then you'll be able to do it every day. And like, he's essentially trying to speed through the upselling of making like a second level rechargeable wand of distort value so that he can do it to larger objects too, up to like 2 cubic feet.
Yes, interesting. But how much is all of this going to cost?
Well, a wand of this magnitude, of what would be the most ideal for your situation, would run you about 120,000. But if that's too pretty a penny for you, I can make a simpler version.
He damn near spits out his coffee when you say 120,000. Well, you must be insane. Look at the neighborhood I'm in. That would be too much of an investment.
We can bring it down to a first level wand, which should cut the price down to a third of that, 40k. If you don't want it rechargeable, that'd cut it in half further, but then you'd only be able to use it 4 times before you need to get it recharged.
He kind of scratches his chin a little bit. He goes, no, there would be no purpose in not getting a rechargeable wand, I suppose. Yes. Make me a rechargeable wand of distort value. I shall pay you when you next deliver it to me.
Let's see, hold on. There it is. All right. And he has plenty of these like pre-written contracts on hand. He pulls the sheet out and gets the signatures ready to go. And explains that the standard practice is half now, half upon delivery, because he does need to buy the supplies.
Ooh. Your boy Raoul frowns at this.
And I will try to make a persuasion check with, I'll try to like show him the math of like, what's his average sale? How much would that increase with the wand when he can do it 4 times a day? And like, I'll show him like the average, or like essentially how long it would take to recoup the cost.
Yeah, sure. Hit me with a persuasion.
Oof.
Yeah, he like scratches at his chin while you're going at it, trying to convince him. But while you're doing it, you kind of realize that this guy is very, very shady. He knows his business. He's kind of playing dumb, and right now you guys are doing the dance. And when you're done, he kind of leans and he says, "I am in a bit of a pickle right now. I have debtors of my own. How would you say about a cool 10 grand now? And when you return from," he kind of looks over at your group of allies, "whatever it is you are up to, I should be able to get another 10,000 by then." Mm-hmm.
I think we can come to an agreement.
Very well. And he signs your paper and shakes your hand and reaches into his pants and pulls out a wad of money and gives you 10 grand's worth of banknotes. A mixture of Dumont and cash.
All right.
And when you go to take the money, he pulls it back from you and leans in. "And remember, if you try to rip me off, you will not leave Djozerstan alive."
If I tried to rip you off, I wouldn't be doing any good for my name.
He goes, "Uh-huh. Oh, why? Were you famous somewhere else or something?"
My family is well known for what we do. Albeit it's on the other side of the core.
"Oh, really? Out of the barony, huh?"
Guilty as charged.
He goes, "Well, we shall see." He hands you the bills and tells you that if it works out, he'll put in a good word with the Night Riders.
It's appreciated. Might be needing it.
What are you other guys doing in here? Heinrich and Aramis.
I'm just keeping an eye on Ollie and stuff, lest anything more shady happen.
Yeah, Aramis is just kind of leaned up against the wall, hand near his flintlock, ready to draw it if anything were to happen. He's kind of just here to look like hired muscle at this point.
And so you do. Heinrich, you can tell that nobody's really bothering you guys because of the help of Aramis and Madame Black and Nadia. Nadia especially looks like she has been hired muscle before. She's got the mean mug going. Anybody that dares get somewhat close to her just kind of goes, "Ugh." And Madame Black looks hopeful that she can crush a peasant today. Aramis, please roll a d20 for me. Eventually, you see Marjorie and Daisy coming back from talking to the porters. And you feel Yaraplex sliding up next to you on the wall. And he says, "Psst, hey, thanks for keeping lookout." And he hands you a small pouch with 100 gold in it. And he slides back away.
No problem, friend. And he'll just kind of sigh, pocket the money.
Nice. Hey, there's Yaroplex perk. Oh, that's funny. Oh yeah, while Daisy and Marjorie, because they would stop like kind of in the front area, Marjorie actually pulls a card. Would Daisy know what a card is? It's like it's a little square or rectangular, more firm piece of paper. It's not very flimsy, but she like absently pulls a card out of her pocket and like looks at it and frowns. I don't know if Daisy would know a tarot card when she sees one.
Did we have tarot cards back in my day?
Yes.
Oh yeah, Daisy knows what it is. She wants to see it. She's doing grabby hands.
Marjorie kind of makes a face, but she'll pass you the card. It is the Four of Pentacles. It's got a person sitting on a throne with like 4 pentacles around them, with a city in the background. And Marjorie doesn't look happy that she's pulled this card out of her pocket. And she just kind of crosses she puts a hand on her hip and kind of looks at Daisy expectantly, wondering what she'll do with it.
Would Daisy know the meaning of tarot cards?
Yes, they are based on an ancient druid ritual.
Yeah, so I
You
could just...
might not know necessarily what they mean nowadays, but it's not too far off from what it used to be. Like it's a pretty druidy thing for somebody like Marjorie to have on her.
Yeah, so you would know that it deals with the surety of possessions and clinging to what one has, like such as like a gift, a legacy, or inheritance, and it could also mean suspense, delay, and opposition.
Daisy would look at it, and she'd keep looking at it, and then she'd look at you, and then she'd look at it, and then she'd look at you, and then she'd look at it, and then she'd look at you, then she'd look at a bird, and then she'd hand it back to you.
She takes the card and puts it back in her pocket. Or she stares at it for another minute, kind of flicks it once or twice, and it goes back in her pocket. And she just shakes her head. Of course, this was going to be trouble. How could I possibly expect anything less? Imagine Daisy just like stares at her.
Daisy's staring at you.
Yeah, she just sort
Kind
of
of wide-eyed.
wide-eyed? Is this a different
Wide-eyed.
from her usual unsettling
Yes.
stare?
Instead of her usual vacant, unsettling stare, this is a vacant but wide-eyed, unsettling stare.
She like turns to Marcus and says quietly, "Marcus, she's doing it again, but different somehow."
Yeah, she's fine. Don't look at me. We need to get out of here.
Oh, Marcus spoke. I'm staring at Marcus.
Oh no!
Do not look at him. She waves at Daisy. She actually puts herself between Daisy and Marcus. Do not look at him.
So when Daisy's staring at people, does she blink one at a time to always keep an eye on them?
She doesn't blink.
I figured
that's
she
even-
did. I figured
that's
she didn't
even
blink
worse.
today.
Why would
Yeah,
Daisy need to blink?
I don't even know why you asked.
Yeah, why did you?
Why would she need to blink?
But yeah, then we would continue going, especially if they're taking a while inside. Then she would like be starting to head up to wonder what the holdup is.
No, by the time you guys all end up together, you are all concluded with your business. You see Ollie counting his money.
As Ollie steps outside counting money, he'll pocket it and steps over to Otto and Frank and says, you know, you are right, it was me, but now I have business with your boss, so you're doing good work.
Otto goes fucking insane. He like rips his hair out. Like, what? What, are you serious? Are you kidding me? I told you it was him. Ah, look at what you have done. What's wrong with you? I just got him calmed down. You're a troublemaker, whoever you are. I've got my eye on you. Business with my boss. We'll see about that. And he just like runs in. What? Really? Come on! He kind of walks back out with his shoulders slumped. Frank, I'm going to be gone for a couple of days. Good, good. You could use a vacation. He marches off. Great disguise! I didn't recognize you at all!
It was entirely the plan. Glad it worked. Otto is really, really good at his job.
He is. It is his blessing as well as his curse.
So it would seem. Well, have a nice day.
I hope he has a good vacation.
Come back soon. We're always looking for tricky people in the Night Riders.
We meet back up.
Yes, you do.
And Marjorie shares what she has learned about the double quarantined northern area of this part of the city, and that she's a little worried, like maybe we should find a way to make sure we do not catch these illnesses. This is running rampant in this part of the city.
Yes, it is very concerning. But that, in addition to one of our other concerns, the Night Riders might be able to get a good word put in for us. If this, I just made a deal for a wand with Raoul.
Marjorie looks like a little disappointed. She's like, you would make deals with a gang.
It gets us where we need to go, and it's not a deal, it's an actual contract. He's paying me for the work that I'm doing, I'm giving him a product. It's all above board.
Oh, for now. That can quickly change with such people. She keeps it simple. Yeah, just be careful. And they will likely rope you into something that you cannot get out of later.
You're probably right, but it's a means to an end for now.
For now. But yeah, she brings up like the towers and the labyrinth thing, and she's like, she wasn't really sure what to make of it because like actually no one knows what this woman really looked like. She 100% had horns, was a stooped figure that walked like she was old, and was in the old Steel Garden district, which that already sounds ominous as heck. So would we be going there now? It is the lead we have. She kind of stares off in the distance where those towers they pointed out were. Now that I'm looking, like, more space, I like, now that I'm away from the porters, can I tell at all what they are? Or are we just too far away?
well, you're kind of too far away, and it's kind of misty and foggy. And it just looks like every major city in the core has like various wizard towers and occasionally skyscrapers. The granaries tend to be very tall, and you can see the basic figures of them kind of in the distance if you get up high. But you guys are kind of surrounded by dense, tall buildings right now. But when you look in between, you can like see them, but they all look kind of weird and wrong. Like they have some kind of like wooden platforms or something snaking around them, or they have like construction being performed. Like everything that the porters told you seems viable. That the conspiracy theorist guy said that there were people who are obsessed with mazes and they're like building mazes everywhere, and that they're like hanging off of the buildings and stuff. But the others say that it's just construction that never got finished. And if like a random person decided to build something like that, it would look kind of crappy. And you can't imagine that construction standards and safety standards are all that great in Dumont. So it could be either.
Okay.
We'll have to get in there and find out.
I do not know how to not get such an illness, though. It sounds so unique. Just like the face rot one. Like, how do we plan to protect ourselves if we are going to be investigating over here? It is a legitimate concern.
Perhaps there's a alchemist, someone that would be able to concoct some sort of preventative measures, if nothing else.
Yeah, he does bring up a good point. With all the concern about disease, I'm sure there's at least one reputable business back on the south side of the bridge that would have to be peddling quality preventative measures.
No, I'm sure we would be able to find. I do not question us being able to find aftercare for our situation, but it is just protecting ourselves in the first place is what I'm worried about. I do not think we should cross back over quite yet, because it is going to be difficult to get back over here.
Daisy, do you have any sort of preventative means for diseases?
She would look at you and basically explain it depends on the disease. She knows a lot of stuff from her time and, could do something about that, but she's not sure what shit does nowadays.
I'd explain this labyrinth curses. We're not sure if it's real or not, but if there was such a thing, if she would have any idea of a way we might prevent it.
Daisy, you ain't never heard of this crazy ass shit before in your entire life.